But what do I always say? No matter how mad you get, speak in love. Because at the end of the day, we're still...
Love, 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 love. Is that what you want?
So James plays the part of the devoted husband really well, and he almost had me fooled in episode 1. But in episode 2, we're learning that James is a serial liar. He's very avoidant, and this is going to get him into some deep-ish this season. Let's get into the segment. Hi guys, welcome back to Nikki Faces Reality. We're here to discuss James and Natalia, Tata, in the latest episode of 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way. So the last time that we saw these two, James delivered the news to Tata that their beloved dog wasn't going to be able to join them in Indonesia, and she had an eruption of a reaction, okay? She did not take that well. Not only was she upset that her pet wasn't going to go with her, she was upset that he waited till the last possible moment to tell her. You guys, if you saw my first video on these two, I still think that her reactions are a bit unhinged. They're explosive, and I don't think that they fit the bill. But in this episode, we're learning that this pattern of his of leaving things to the very last minute, it isn't new. Okay, so just keep that in the back of your mind if you haven't watched this episode, okay? Things are really tense, and that's really not the ideal way to leave your spouse when you don't really know when you're going to see them again. So before we get into the new segment, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I really do enjoy reading your comments, and I'm just so appreciative that you're here, so thank you. And you guys, disclaimer, I am just a honey bun today. It is so hot. There's a heat wave in New York City. My fan is working overtime here in my living room. The AC is just too loud, so I can't have it on, but you're going to see my handy dandy fan. You're going to see me being like this profusely. I'm sorry, okay? So it's the morning where Tata has to go to Indonesia, and things are a little tense. They're in the car ride, and you know, she's bitter that he waited till last minute to tell her about the dog. So she's like, are you going to wait last minute to buy your flight too? Like, when am I going to see you? And James gives me the vibe of a guy that always has an answer, always has an excuse for you, you know? And his thing is, well, I didn't buy my flight yet because I want to work as long as possible to get as much money as we can to start us off on the right foot. And then when we get to Indonesia, we can depend on the money from working with your family. And Tata's like, money from my family? They're not going to pay you. They don't pay family. And it looks like this is the first time that James has ever heard this, because he's like, we've literally created this plan of our move on the back of the fact that we had guaranteed employment. And now you're telling me we don't have work? Like, I'm like, why didn't she offer this information before? Why didn't he ask follow-up questions? Given the fact that he has this big, you know, chip on his shoulder that he has to provide, they have to have money coming in because that's what he's been used to. And I can already tell that he just is avoidant and doesn't want to have the hard conversations with her. But he needs to grow a pair and have them, because this is huge. Tata in this moment is going 0 to 100. Everything's like, yeah, duh, like that. Like, hello? Relax. It's concerning because I can see how someone that's avoidant would be like, I'm steering clear. I don't want to have any conversation, because she's explosive. I don't see how they've made it this far together. Like, how do they get anything done? It's just very concerning that this is her reaction. If I were to be seeing this with someone that I'm dealing with, I'd be like, are you hiding something? Why are you being so defensive? I'm wondering if she's acting like this because she's unsure about what they're going to do, and it's better for her to just avoid giving him too many details because she's afraid that because she's already afraid that he won't move for her. Like, I wonder if it comes from that, but still, that's not valid. That's just like it's not valid for him to keep information from her. It goes both ways. But again, you guys, I don't want to be the tone police, but Tata keeps having like visceral reactions to any minor inconvenience, and that's terrifying. And also, it can't possibly be helping whatever ailments she has. And also, her like lashing out like that anytime there's something uncomfortable happening comes off a little manipulative to me. It comes off like if I cry hard enough, if I look bothered hard enough, we don't have to talk about something that I don't want to talk about, you know? Yeah, I thought that I would like them. You know, they're young, they're in love, she's beautiful. I don't like them. I don't like them individually. I wanted to like them as a unit, but now I'm seeing how kind of twisted and codependent they are. They're giving me like I was going to say a toxic version of Bella and Edward from Twilight, but those two were toxic as is. So you get the vibe. But anyway, she does kind of answer his question, but still sounds really annoyed. She's like, we're gonna take some of his banana chips and sell it in other places. And so she's making it sound like they could do it as resellers. But then she also says in the same sentence, but we have to fight for our spot in Indonesia. So like they kind of have to like battle it out to have a spot in different markets. And again, you know that your partner values stability, you need to be super transparent. Nothing about that process sounds stable. And it looks like he's offered her lots of grace in her transition from Indonesia to America. You would think that she would offer him the same grace in his transition to Indonesia because this may be a practice that's normal to her, but it's not normal to him. And she doesn't seem to be generous with the explanation. And he's shooketh hearing all of this, and he's just like, I wish we weren't discussing this right now when you're literally leaving. And she's like, did you think that I wanted to discuss me not getting my dog the day before? And I was like, you know what? Touche. But if this is how y'all are rolling, an eye for an eye, wow. Like, if this is the approach that you're taking, ma'am, you're going to have a miserable life. Like, imagine having to be on edge thinking that your partner is going to serve some kind of payback. Crazy.
You're making it sound like it's not going to be profitable. Like, yes or no? Are we going to make money or not? Yes or no?
Yes, we can.
I hate that we're having this conversation right here, right now.
Do you think I'm not hate to have a conversation last minute about Jojo?
I don't care how much he says he loves her. He looks like he loves money and stability more. And if he can't find even an ounce of that in Indonesia, they're going to come back. He's definitely going to come back. And she says that in her culture, they follow the men. So she says that she didn't keep this piece of information on purpose. But I don't believe that. I think that she has a lot of insecurities about where they stand, and she wasn't going to risk him not going to Indonesia. So yeah, things are on shaky ground right now, and they get to the airport, and she's like, oh, like just pissy and ready to get out the car. And he's like, babe, remember, speak through love, even when we don't feel good. And she's like, love, 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 there. I was like, she is so, I don't want to use the C word. I don't want to use the crazy word. But she's giving a little crazy eyes.
Whatever, I need to go.
But what do I always say? No matter how mad you get, speak in love. Because at the end of the day, we're still...
Love, 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 love. Is that what you want?
And he looks so hurt because that was unnecessary, you know? And she's just such a ball of emotion. She's just hot and cold because ultimately when they have to say goodbye, they're both crying into each other's arms. And she's like, please just leave with me right now. And he's like, I will soon, I will. But then the minute she leaves, he's like, I don't know when we're going to see each other because I need to get money. Listen, as alarming as it is to me, I want to give her grace and be like, you know what? The stakes are high. There's a series of emotions. She doesn't know when she's going to see her husband, her pet. She doesn't know if she's severely sick. There's just so much uncertainty. So I want to give her that, but we'll check in when she's back in Indonesia if she's still keeping up this behavior. If she is, it's a no-go. But anyway, yeah, James is at this airport distraught. It was meant to be that we come from different parts of the world and we found each other, but I don't know when I'm gonna go see her. And I was just like, okay, you guys are doing this move because of her health. You make good money here. You have a support system here. She has everything that she needs here. All you're really searching for is some medical answers, right? I understand that y'all are like glue and y'all can't be apart, but you don't really want to do this move. Why wasn't it ever an option for her to go to Indonesia by herself? Maybe he can visit once while she's doing that, but you can still hold down the fort, work, provide, send her money if she needs it, but she's out in Indonesia, gets the medical help that she needs, cures her homesickness a little bit, and then comes back ready to go. Why wasn't that an option? Yeah, I just feel like this move is just ill-timed. There isn't real excitement around it. And they're keeping all these secrets. And it's like, if you have to live like that, that would send alarm bells for me in my system that it's like, clearly something I'm doing doesn't feel right. But these two are ignoring all of the red flags and are going full throttle with this plan. So the next time we see James, it's been a month since Tata has been in Indonesia, and he is packing up because in a week, he will be joining her. And as he's packing up, he's telling us about how he's really stalled on telling his family that he's moving. And so now it's come down to the wire and they still do not know. He also shares that secrecy, this habit of omitting the truth and leaving your loved ones high and dry, yeah, this is a bit of a habit of his. He's done this before when he was married. So did they mention that he was married before in the first episode? Because I might have missed that. This is his second marriage. And apparently in his first marriage, he did the same thing where he just moved to Florida out of nowhere and didn't tell his family. And again, he works in his family business. And because they weren't prepared with his departure, they had to downsize the business. If I were his family member, that is a grudge that I would be holding for some time. It's just so wild to me that you would do that to people that you love. He says that his ex made him do the move, and I'm like, you're a grown ass man. You made this decision. Like, own up to it. Not only are you afraid of accountability, you are avoidant as heck with uncomfortable conversations. And I thought it was just with Tata because of her attitude, but this is clearly with everyone. This is his MO, and this is extremely problematic, okay? Again, he says that his family was severely affected by that sudden move, and it took them a minute to recover. Why would you do that to them a second time? And it wouldn't be okay if he did it to some random company, but I think there's an extra layer of like, how sinister. I'm disturbed by the fact that you would be so dismissive of your family's needs in that way. I'm not saying you have to live for them. I'm saying though, you've known about this move for some time. Prepare the others. Be like, hey, I'm planning this move for 4 months from now. Let's start looking into someone that can replace me so that they can be prepared and their order of operations can go as they were. But again, he's going to shake up this system. And like when you work with your family, those relationships are so delicate and he's being so careless. But timely enough, his brother and his sister-in-law show up and they're, asking when Tata's going to come back. And James is like, she's not going to come back. I'm going over there. And the brother was playing with the dog at the time and he literally stopped and put the dog down. And he's like, when are you coming back? And James is like, and his brother's like, so you're not coming back? Okay, so does that mean you're quitting? And you could see that he's pissed and disappointed. Mind you, this is his younger brother. And with their energies, you can tell that he has had to be an older brother to his older brother. It's embarrassing. Brother doesn't hold back. He's like, you're doing this again. You're moving somewhere, shaking up our system for some woman again. And he doesn't say some women like Tata's whatever, but he's saying like you're doing this and blaming the next person as like it was their idea, but you're the one that's leaving us high and dry kind of thing, you know? And you guys, if you watched enough of my videos, you know that one thing I do not like is when there is a serious conversation happening and someone has a stupid smirk on their face, because I'm just like, are you not taking me seriously? And this happens on this show all the time. I know that people react to discomfort in many ways, but someone smirking when they're delivering some messed up news is triggering AF. When he gets this news, Jimmy, James' brother, is like, and you haven't told our parents? Great. And his wife is like, that means now all the pressure is on you. I guess that makes sense because he's the other son. That is so unfair that he didn't even prepare his brother beyond a week. That's the kind of thing that makes people go no contact with their family, because it's so deeply hurtful. The lack of consideration, it's one of those things that I really can't get with. And you can see the disappointment in Jimmy's face, and he's like, wow, like, you really haven't learned from last time. And he's still being like a good sport through it all. And James is like, yeah, this wasn't really my idea. I'm nervous to face her family because I made 3 promises. And Jimmy's like, have you upheld any of them? And James again is smirking. So you guys, the 3 promises that James made to her parents were, one, that he would provide for them, which he is doing so currently, but that's going to get real shaky when they get to Indonesia. The second one is that he would learn their native language. He has not. They've been together for 5 years. Again, we're seeing that lack of consideration, lack of immersing himself for someone that is so in love, for someone that found their soulmate. The fact that you haven't been able to even learn the basics of her native tongue, troubling. The third promise was that they would have children. And Tata's under the impression that once she gets healthy, they're going to get started. But she did hear from her friend that he was nervous about the idea of starting a family. Well, y'all, in this conversation with his brother, he flat out says, I don't want to have kids. And he has not had this conversation with his wife. They've been together for 5 years, so I was like, oh, wow, like maybe her health issues are impeding her from conceiving. No, y'all. He has been wearing protection and has been very intentional about that. He does not want kids at all. And oh my God, that conversation is going to rock Tata's world, because he doesn't even seem like open to it. He said that he agreed to the promises 5 years ago, but his excuse is that COVID and seeing the state of the world has really changed his mind, and he doesn't want to have children. And it's like, it doesn't seem like he's really flexible on that. And they're questioning him like, she wants children. Are you going to compromise? Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to talk about it? Like, you should talk about that because people break up over that all the time. Like, that's really important if you don't align on that. And he's like, no, I don't want to bring it up because I don't want it to ruin things. And
have you talked to her about that?
I don't want to bring up that discussion until we're steady on our feet anyways. We're doing this whole move. Like, there's no point to bring that up and try to throw more drama into the whole situation.
I want her to see that I love her, and that's why I'm making this sacrifice and moving. And I'm like, that's manipulative. One does not affect the other. These were promises that you made, and you are purposely omitting this huge, huge thing. It's very deceitful because she has expressed outright that's what she wants. She wants a family. And for you to be like, I know that I'm not going to give it to you, but I'm not going to tell you because I want to keep you here. Yeah, that's not okay. He's convinced that this move is going to pacify all of her other needs. And I'm going to tell you right now, it will not. This is going to blow up in his face. Oh, when the minute he gets to Indonesia, I know that her parents are going to be questioning him like, what are you waiting for? I just know. But yeah, you guys, it's crazy. I mean, they're both equally unlikable for me, but now I'm looking at things and I'm like, huh. Tata is explosive, and I think that she needs to reel that in. But that's her husband. She clearly knows things that we don't know. And this is possibly his MO, that he likes to keep things hidden from her and likes to make these decisions without her. And that's why she blows up right away. Maybe. I don't know. But I just know that in the first episode, I thought that he was the patron saint of husbands and she was just wild. But they're not too far off from each other. I would love to know what you guys thought about the segment. What do you think about them as a couple, individually? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Gosh, it's so hot. I'm literally trying my best not to look like a glazed whatever, like a honey bun. Whew, okay.